The THORN NOMAD Mk2 is highly respected within the cycling community, and I think there are at least 3 main reasons why this bike is considered as incredibly reliable for expedition touring. But before we dig into that, I wanted to tell you a little bit about THORN cycles, because there is something pretty interesting about them. They are based in the UK, they are specialized mostly on touring bicycles, they have a loyal following, but what surprised me the most is the amount of detailed technical information they have on their website. They not only talk about their bikes, but about general concepts like materials, geometry, wheels, tires, braking systems, etc. So you can really understand why they build their bikes the way they do and learn a lot. There's only one thing that I wasn't able to find. Why are the V-brakes installed at the back of the fork? Anybody knows? Now, why is the Nomad Mk2 such a reliable bike? First, roll-off 14-speed gear hub. The Nomad Mk2 is an only roll-off compatible bike. But so you know, there is the new version of this bike, the Mk3, is roll-off and derailleur compatible, but the traditional Mk2, which we are reviewing today, is only roll-off compatible. Roll-off is definitely one of the most reliable and low-maintenance gear systems in the market. It only needs an oil change every about 5,000 kilometers and a little chain tensioning every about 1,500 kilometers. Both of these maintenance works are completely doable without the need of a professional bike mechanic. The bike comes with an eccentric bottom bracket for chain tensioning, which is much more reliable and durable than sliding dropouts. The second reason is because Nomad Mk2 is 26 inches wheel compatible, and although the new version, the Mk3, can be built on 26 inches, 27.5 inches or 700C, the 26 inches is still the recommended version for serious expedition touring. As you probably already know, a smaller rim diameter with shorter spokes will always be stronger than the same wheel on a bigger size. The third main reason why this bike is so reliable is the frame. The Mk2 frame, as well as the Mk3, is built out of double-butted, heat-treated chromoly THORN 969. Double-butted means the ends of the tubes are thicker than the middle, so they are stronger exactly where they need to. The heat treatment makes the tubes significantly stronger, and the 969 stands for the actual thicknesses of the tubes, being 0.9 at the ends and 0.6 in the middle. All these specs make for a super strong frame that, as they say, will cope with over 60 kilos, including 20 kilos at the front. And it's very important to say all the tubes are THORN 969, not only the main triangle. And that has an important effect on the strength and the ride quality of this bike. We're going to talk more about the riding characteristics in a moment. We could keep going on how almost every component of this bike contributes to making it reliable, but I think the main elements are the ones we just saw: the roll-off, the wheels, and the frame. Back in 2011, my friend Panos was looking for a touring expedition bike capable of handling different terrains, with good clearance for mountain bike tires, a strong and durable steel frame, and a bulletproof, low-maintenance drivetrain. So he got himself a THORN Nomad Mk2, and he's been using it for over a decade now. So based on his experience, let's find out what are some of the pros and cons of the Nomad Mk2. The bike has proven to be reliable and low maintenance. The wheels are still the originals that came with the bike, and they are remarkably strong. So far, only small adjustments have been necessary. The roll-off gear hub is still working in perfect condition, and all the small maintenance works like oil changes and chain tensioning are done by my friend himself at home. The gear range of the roll-off is 426%. And in this case, the chainring to sprocket ratio is 38 tooth at the front and 16 tooth at the back. How does that compare to my own derailleur drivetrain touring bike? Well, according to roll-off, with this chainring to a sprocket ratio, the smallest gear on the roll-off would be exactly the same as the smallest gear on my bike, with a small 22-tooth chainring at the front and a 34-tooth biggest sprocket on the cassette. So we are both equipped with the same gearing for climbs. Now for the biggest gear, The roll-off equals a derailleur drivetrain with a 42-tooth biggest chainring and a 12-tooth smallest sprocket. And there we can see a difference because when going fast, I'm going to be able to go on my 44-tooth chainring and down on my 11-tooth small sprocket. But to be honest, that doesn't happen very often, especially if I am loaded. The V brakes offer good braking power. They are also very easy to adjust and maintain, and they are at the back of the fork. The back of the bike is compatible with both disc and rim brakes. The fork is only rim compatible, but on the new model, the Mk2, the fork is compatible with both rim and disc brakes. In terms of the riding characteristics, stability is probably the most noticeable of them, which helps especially when riding in difficult terrain and loaded. And there is where the bike performs the best. Probably one of the main reasons behind that is the length of the chainstays. Long chainstays like these ones create a long wheelbase, which translates into more stability. The other main characteristic is given by the heat-treated THORN 969 tubes, which are very strong and flex in a tight, springy way, rather than over-flexing in a loosely slacky way. And on THORN Cycle's Touring Bike Bible, they talk about resilience. I quote, "Resilience can be defined technically as the ability of a material to absorb energy when it's deformed and then release that energy upon unloading. In a high-quality bicycle frame, it manifests itself to the cyclist as a tight, springy sensation." This version of the Nomad, with 26-inch wheels, a roll-off, and all the accessories you see, weighs exactly 15.2 kilograms. It's best suited for expedition adventures, but it will perform very well on shorter trips with lighter gear. Actually, this is the type of trip where my friend Panos uses the bike most of the time. Now, if you're doing faster or more sporty kind of touring, you might want to go for the Mk2 on 650B or 700C setup, and maybe with a derailleur instead of a roll-off. That would save you a few grams. So there you have it, a bike for a lifetime. I hope you got some useful information for your own projects. Thanks for watching and see you next time.